On the website Sega Bits, which you've introduced me to, which I've never actually looked at in a long time.
Like I said, there's different websites out there to get news about Sega, not just from.
Yeah, I stick to TSSE, Sonic Stadium, and the occasional other website,
Yeah.
which I always double check. I always double check the source of the information.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Dan Sheridan responded to a viewer mail regarding Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, because we honestly, quite a while ago, we did an
We
episode
talked about
on
Shenmue 3, so we
Shenmue
just
3.
think, yeah.
Yeah. Um, if they're gonna release the HD versions, Stan replied, "Of course we would love to release these tomorrow. Of course it's not as simple as just porting the games to the current platforms, as we would need to ensure that any HD remaster lives up to the quality of the original titles, and with games as immersive as Shenmue 1 and 2, there are further complications from licensed products that were included in the original games. That said, we'd love to do it, and we're currently investigating how to make it a reality." Well, first of all, Sega already ported Shenmue 2 to the Xbox, and porting that version to current consoles wouldn't be that much of a difficulty.
That's the thing, though. It's again, we're talking from standard definition games to full on HD games, though I want to get into a topic about that later on when we're on this.
Yeah, but the only thing the difference is that just making them in 16 by 9.
Mm.
It's just make it into a full widescreen resolution, and it's just and the processing speed being upped up a bit, so it's not actually overclocking the system.
Yeah.
So no, not overclocking, accelerated the system artificially.
Yeah.
So with these games, like even on the certain emulators, like the Dolphin emulator can do Dreamcast and GameCube games. One of its features was a quote unquote HD mode, which basically just widens the perspective
Yeah.
to make it look like 16 by 9, but all the artifacts, such as the basically the HUD, is still in a 4 by 3 ratio.
Yeah.
And basically just going,
So essentially, it's like you get the full screen, but like all the icons on the screen, like health, whatever, that's still in the center of the screen where it should have been.
yeah. And all it is basically using the program to actually widen that. That's basically what they did for Sonic Adventure HD.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just going to the same kind of code as that and making it into Shenmue 1 and 2. But
Yeah.
as far as changing what's in the game as far as product placement,
Well,
yeah, that's going to take a lot more time
yeah.
since
I mean,
one example is when Nintendo re-released Wave Race 64 for Virtual Console.
hmm,
It actually had product placement in the original cartridge,
hmm,
but in the Virtual Console release,
they're gone.
they're gone. It was replaced by Nintendo logos.
Hmm.
So if Nintendo could do that to a cartridge, but then again, that's a reader-only memory. This is an ISO or an image.
The disc, yeah, this is on disc, obviously, and this was
Yeah,
on multiple discs as well. This is the other thing we should mention.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Shenmue 2 HD was episodic. Like episode 1 is disc 1.
Yeah, episode on disc one, episode two, disc two. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's the idea, like you said. I mean, the thing with doing these type of games, like you said, that's probably one thing if they're going to do this. I mean, for all we know, they're probably doing this as we're speaking. There's a lot they'll have to look through, and obviously, if they had anything that was there at the time or a deal, then they go, well, we can't have that, and we have to go into the program, the original program, remove it, or I have to clean it up somehow. So there's a lot of that stuff. And also, one thing I was thinking of was the internal clock, because the big thing with Shenmue was it would have real time, like it would go from night to day in real time. I mean, something we have in games now, like GTA and Jak and Daxter had it, which
Yeah,
is just there.
I think one of the differences is like it's not so much in real time that I play at 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be 10 o'clock at night in the game
Yeah.
because that's more akin to me like well, Pokemon Gold and Silver, and that's when they started it.
But I'm just saying, I mean, obviously, if you're going to have that feature in, you're going to make it work with the internal clock of the systems of today, obviously. That's what I mean.
Well, you could either do it internal clock on systems, or you can do it with in-game clock, which is a bit more faster. So 1 minute is 1 hour.
And I remember this actually, because I remember talking to one of our friends about this, like the idea of doing it. And he particularly said he replayed Shenmue 2 on the Xbox. And the one thing he remembers saying is, I completely forgotten how much time I had to wait for something to happen.
Well,
Because
I could say the same thing to not Ocarina Time, Majora's Mask, since that pretty much in the same vessel.
although you could control the time, couldn't you, in that game?
You can do double time, which eventually forces it half a day.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's probably something. If they were to do this, they'll probably have a featurette of like you can speed up time or whatever
Yeah,
for
like I
certain
say, you could have
missions.
real-time clock or in-game clock, which actually would move faster.
Hmm.
But, and the only, there's a lot of games that actually do in-game clock also. It's like Pokemon Channel had it.
Yeah,
The only time it actually worked to its benefit was Metal Gear Solid 3 with the fight with the end.
yeah. I'm gonna say. I mean, the metal. Well, that's Hideo Kojima being his usual Hideo
Yeah,
Kojiminess.
but the principle's the same. You just waited a long time
Yeah,
to him to die of old age.
yeah,
Which acted to a side note, I've only ever beaten him traditionally once, and that's on the HD version.
yeah. I did
Every
it.
time I completed that game, I've always done it the old age dying way.
Yeah, I mean, I did it the clock way as well because I thought to myself, I'm probably going to be here for hours ripping my hair out, so screw it, I'll wait.
Surprisingly, it was quite easy to find him.
All
I
right,
don't know how I did it,
all right, but
but
still,
the idea of the actual thought of HD is still on the table.
hmm.
So it's like we will do this, but
It'll
can we
take
do
time.
this?
Yeah,
Should we? Yeah. Could we? Yeah. Can we? Maybe. And it's not several factors actually going into the code and actually just replace this image of say I don't know pot noodles
yeah,
and replacing it with a generic ramen cup. It's like you have to
yeah,
do that for every single one. Then there's
yeah,
also the scripting
yeah, exactly.
to make sure they're all there.
Yeah,
Then
I mean,
there's also the cinematics as well.
yeah, exactly.
Not to show you're going to redo those, or are they still going to be like Sonic 2 HD, where majority of the cutscenes actually are in widescreen, but anything with CGI or any kind of digital artifacts
Was rendered the way it was.
is still in 4:3,
Yeah,
which is kind of odd.
yeah. But then again, that's the case of, well, do we have the original files for this somewhere hidden in our computer banks or something?
More than likely.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's
It's
the
not like Kingdom Hearts where it just fucking disappeared.
yeah, it's like yeah. But this is the thing I want to talk about this idea of course, porting in HD because I mean, for a while, like you said, a lot of them have just been basically just make the game again, just make it widescreen or just make it fit the rate.
Yeah, it'll take way too fucking long.
I know, but this
A HD port is quicker, but it'll take just a bit longer than simply copy paste.
exactly. And like I said, particularly with a lot of games these days, it's very hard to make sure things still work. I mean, I'll give you a good example is with Broken Sword, the Shadow of the Templars Director's Cut. Now, now basically at this point, Revolution were kind of at a low and didn't have really anything to do. I mean, they did the fourth game, didn't sell well, and they were kind of wondering what to do. And they asked fans,
Is that the one that didn't fucking work, or is that the
well,
third one?
no, no, the third one is the one that took the world's longest loading time ever. That's the one.
No,
That's.
Crash Rapid Cortex is pretty bad.
I'm just saying, it's with it. It's on the same bloody level, my friend. It's on the same bloody level, but loading time another day. Anyway, but yeah, basically they asked fans what they would like to see, and they said, well, we'd like to see Shadow of the Templars on new consoles. And funny enough, when they did this, Child particularly remembered, do you remember this? Literally spewing out tapes and tapes of information into bins, thinking, "Oh, well, no, we won't use this again. We're fine. The game's finished. We'll never have to do this again." And thinking, "Oh God, how are we going to do it?" So they had to find all these tricky ways of, right, how do we get the original source code in? And particularly with this, they're adding new stuff into the game as well as new sections with Nicole and changes to some of the puzzles. So it was the case of we have to keep the code the same, but we've got to add these stuff. And will it work? Will it won't work? And like I said, it was on the Wii and it was on the DS, and then it was ported over to the iPad and Android devices everywhere, and HD, as it's known as.
Which is being dropped and just being called remastered now.
Yeah, well, that's the second one they did. But again, I think another thing that's worth mentioning is Yahtzee brought this up with Ratchet and Clank review is the idea of porting games or the idea of as each generation goes by, it's less of the consoles that we have now. It seems weird that they're so powerful yet they can't play something that was easy, should be playable within a click. Something like playing a PS2 game and a PS4 game should be easy. It should have a PS2 like somewhere inside it somewhere.
It does. It actually you can buy PS2 games on the PS4.
I
It's
know,
just
but it's not like
it's like
physical
I'm
copy.
not spending $12.99 to get a fucking PS2 game that I may or may not play for a while. And
Exactly. And
two, I already own some PS2 games. Why the hell can't I play those?
That's what I mean. It's like I have the copy. I've got it in my hand. Why can't I just play
I
this
paid
disc?
full price for this.
Yeah, when it was new, you know.
Why the hell should I
So
pay? Why should I pay for it again? And why the hell? And if you can emulate PS2 and PS3 with the PlayStation Now, why the hell can't I play it?
why can't you just accept the disc of the console that it was programmed to work on?
For PS2, it makes sense. Like DVD and a Blu-ray kind of readers are completely somewhat different. Hey,
Yeah,
okay, fair enough. But the PS3 and PS4 can still read DVD, so that excuse is right out of the fucking window.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I can play PS1 games easy.
I
So
can go on for ages about the backwards compatibility,
I
but
know, but again, it's this idea of it's limiting off what we could play from the past a bit. I mean, at this point, I'll probably make this my last point. But you think about the various games that people want to see again, like Time Splitters. A lot of people want to see the first three Time Splitters games on newer systems, but you can only play them on the original PS2, Xbox, or GameCube stuff because that's the way it is.
either dig out your PS2 to get something, or any other console to play it, or just wait and hope that the video developers actually think, let's just remake it or pause it.
Exactly. And even then, it's basically making these games work on these machines. It's like life support. It's like we're still keeping these things alive, and there's only so much, spares or stuff we can use before they'll probably knacker up. And it's like, well, I guess we'll never play that again. So it does seem a bit weird to think in this day and age with the technology we have and how ideally, I don't know, I'm not a programmer, it should be able to be played on these powerful systems, but for either complicated reasons or just the sake we don't get any money for it, it seems to be a big no at the minute.
Yeah, so yeah, Shenmue 1 and 2 HD is on the table, but we're just not too sure when.
Yeah.